Happy Wednesday. First of all, I just want to say, today was kind of a sad day. Some people from my old church, lost someone very loved to them today. One of the students that was in the youth group that I was a leader at, her father passed away, and she's young and in college, and my heart's just broken for this family and everyone that knew him, and it's so hard losing people, and I am horrible with death. I've lost, grandparents and close friends, and it's never easy, and I do not handle death well whatsoever. But I feel so horrible, and I know that he is with the Lord, and that his suffering has ended, but it's just really sad. Whew, and it's really hot in my apartment right now. But just praying for that family. But so today and last night, well, not just today and last night, but for the past little bit, I know I've talked about dreams and timelines of dreams and things, and I was reading in Genesis 37, and it's, the story of Joseph. And for those of you who don't know, or just a little recap, Joseph was the youngest son of Israel. I am blanking hard on names right now. Anyway, so he was his father's favorite son, and his brothers were super ticked because, who likes to know that one of the other siblings is the favorite? And it's always the youngest. It's never the oldest. Anyway, so his brothers get ticked at him, and Joseph has this dream, or I should say these dreams, and his father kind of rebuked him a little bit, like, dude, calm down. And his brothers were like, oh, you think you're better than us, blah blah blah. So they sold him and told their father that he died. And this is the very abbreviated version. So then Joseph gets sold to Potiphar, and Potiphar likes his work ethic. So he invites him into his house, and Joseph is grateful to Potiphar. Potiphar treats him well. Potiphar's wife, Hussy, is like, I want you. And Joseph is like, no. And Potiphar's wife is like, well, you can't tell me no. And then says that Joseph tried to, and Potiphar has Joseph sent into prison. And in prison he meets these two guys, and they both have dreams, and they were like, oh, what does this mean? And Joseph was like, well, let me tell you. And he looks at one, he's like, you're gonna live. And then he looks at the other one, and he's like, you're gonna die. And sure enough, the guards came, took one back to the Pharaoh's house, and the other one died. And Joseph was like, hey, don't forget to tell people about me. And he did. The guy was like, oh yeah, I won't forget to tell people about you. And he did. So Joseph is there chilling and talking to God, probably really confused. I had these dreams, and so far it's just been hell and turmoil. And then Pharaoh has a dream, and Joseph interprets the dream for him, and Pharaoh like promotes him, and so Joseph oversees a ton of stuff, and then his family comes, and then he's like, oh, my brothers are here, they don't know who I am, and so he like this whole big spiel, and long story short, his brothers see that they're truly Joseph sees that his brothers are truly repentant for what they did to him so long ago, so he forgives them, and the whole family moves back to the land that Joseph is in. And then Joseph has 2 sons, and blah, 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 blah. The part that I'm focusing on is Joseph had a dream, or dreams, plural. And those dreams were to be fulfilled, but they were so not in the timeline that Joseph thought they were going to be fulfilled. God brought him through turmoil and trial after trial after trial. And then finally, when it was so hard for Joseph, he finally, made those dreams a reality. And Joseph had a lot of growing up to do, character-wise, and the Bible talks about if you're faithful with the little things, God will give you big things, because you show God that you can be faithful with the big things. And all of that time, through the ups and the downs and the valleys and the mountaintops, God was grooming Joseph to be, the man that he wanted him to be. And Joseph had a lot of opportunities to mess that up. He could have acted out in rage and hostility and anger because of what his brothers did and said, well, I didn't choose this life. But Joseph was 100% where he was at while he was there, if that makes sense. He kept his eyes forward. He had integrity. And God blessed him because of that, because he walked through, the difficult spots. And that's the part that it's so hard, because you face things in life, and it's gonna be difficult. And it is all how you handle those situations, and what you allow God to pull out of you in those situations, and what you allow him to create in you in those situations. And it is hard, letting things go and allowing God to prune and weed out what's in your heart, because it is painful, and nobody likes thorns, but God's got to get in there and clean stuff out and prepare you for what's to come. And it's recognizing those seasons of difficulty, and those seasons of waiting, and those seasons of going. It's all preparation for what God has for you. And Joseph went through stage after stage after stage. Years went by before, the dreams that God gave him came to fruition. He had to wait a long time, and, God is always asking me, are you okay to wait? Do you trust me? Are you willing to wait? And am I willing to wait? I like to say yes, but I do get impatient, because I want to be doing what God wants for me to do right now. Sometimes I'm you know, if I would have made this choice or made this choice, or if I would have, you know, finished school or done this degree or whatever. I would just like picture all of the amazing things that I would be doing right now, and going from a program where I had so many incredible opportunities, traveling and promoting and, you know, going overseas and like going to Africa and Moldova and Detroit and just different places around the world, like, and just the things that I was able to do, like, music wise, and being able to like travel with friends, like, to where I am right now. It's kind of like, I don't know, I want to make sure that my intentions are pure and that I'm not just chasing a high, or like the high of like doing big things like that, because that was my life for 3 years. It was a love-hate relationship, and you know, sometimes I'm like, man, I miss those exciting days. I miss traveling and being busy all the time, and you know, having so much responsibility. And I mean, granted, I live alone and got bills to pay for and a little boy to take care of, and you know, my incredible fiance, and you know, everything has a season. And you know, I'm thankful because I don't know if I would have ever met my fiance had I not chosen the path that I knew was God telling me to go down this path. And you know, I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't been obedient to him, but I'm so happy with where I'm at because I chose to be obedient, even though it's not what I used to be doing. Like, this is just as important to me. Like, my fiance is the most important thing to me in the world, and my family, and my little Brucey boy. And you know, I'm thankful that God blessed me in those areas, and you know, I don't want to take that for granted, and I want to take this as a season of, hello computer, of, you know, preparation, because I know God's got huge things in store for me and Eric, and this is all preparation, like I keep saying, but it's true. It's all preparation. So yeah, I'm just learning to embrace situations better, because it's not about the now, it's about the future and what God is going to do in the future, and allowing him to work now, instead of being bitter or frustrated about current situations or things I can or cannot control. It's just really putting your full trust in God, knowing that he does have incredible plans for you, and they aren't to harm you, like it says in Jeremiah 29:11. But anyway, that's my 14-minute rant for today. Yeah. Hopefully I get some sleep. I haven't slept in the last, I think I've gotten like 4 hours of sleep the last 72 hours, and I'm like just exhausted. So hopefully I can sleep tonight. My little cat is passed out. Anyway, good night.